Hello and good morning, it's Phil Thatch and I'm here once again at the Rainbow Lake Wilderness on the top of Signal Mountain, and it's supposed to rain all day today, but right now it's not raining. It takes me, I don't know, 45 minutes to drive here, and it rained pretty much all the way here, but the rain has basically stopped, but it's definitely not out of the forecast. It's supposed to continue raining off and on, probably mostly on, all day long. And this is on the top of Signal Mountain in Tennessee, and it's foggy up here. The fog started about 3/4 up the mountain, and last time I came here it was in the fall, beautiful fall color, but there was no flow over the top of Rainbow Lake Dam, so I didn't even make a photograph of it. That's a pretty good video though. I'll put a link to that up in the top. But today, with all the rain we've been having, surely there's going to be good flow over the waterfall. So hopefully I'll get some sort of foggy stuff today and some pictures of the flow over the dam, which is really beautiful. Hopefully you'll see that later in the video. And today I brought the my Canon R6 Mark II and the EF 17-40 and the RF 24-105. So that should take care of me for everything I need to do today. I also brought the 100-400 super cheap telephoto, which I may or may not use, probably not. Last week I didn't use it, but anyway, I'm going to get hiking towards the dam, which is, I can't remember how far it is, maybe half a mile, and I'll see you there. Well, the rain is back. I guess I'm maybe a halfway to the dam and the rain has returned, but at least I'm somewhat prepared with this cheap plastic poncho. I still haven't made it to the waterfall, but I found something that I needed to photograph. Every time I hike to this dam and waterfall, I always admire this rock face and think, man, that's beautiful, but it's not photogenic, if that makes any sense. But today there's fog, and so I set up the extremely wet now R6 Mark II with 24-105, and I made a shot looking up the rock face, which is gets foggier the further back it goes, and all the trees that are growing up beside the rock face are nicely fogged in. And I'm doing focus bracketing again, just like I did last week, with the focus increment set at 1, and I made just one shot of this scene, and I think it looks pretty cool. Take a look. Here is the shot of the cliff face with the trees and the fog, and I thought it looked absolutely amazing when I was looking at it, but my photograph, I didn't capture it as well as I was hoping. And then after I put my tripod completely back up, I decided I wanted to selfie, and I got it all back out, and man, I look like a total dork in that poncho. Well, I have made it down here to the dam. It is flowing quite nicely, unlike last time I was here when it was barely a trickle over that thing. And I'm set up a composition, I think it's 0.4 of a second, f11 ISO 100, doing a focus bracket, and I don't know if I'm happy with it. I'm going to keep moving around and see if I can get something better, but I'm once again wearing my boots that I love so much, these Dunlop boots. There's a link in the description, and I'm standing in the water and not getting wet, so that's pretty cool. Also, this is a University of Tennessee poncho bought at a UT football game, so there's that. Here is the first composition, and this one is probably my favorite. We'll call it composition number 1, and it's the waterfall coming over Rainbow Lake Dam. And I've made a number of other shots. We'll call this next one composition number 2, as I moved around there trying to get just the right shot. And I like this one as well, but I probably personally like composition number 1 the best. Here is number 3, and my favorite thing about this one is I was able to crop it enough to make it 16:9 so it perfectly fits the screen in a YouTube video. Composition 3. I was coming back away from the dam and its waterfall, and I was going to try to go downstream and maybe cross the river and get some shots from the other side, and I still may do that. But on the way back, as I crossed this giant flat boulder, I looked over here and found this awesome tree with its mossy roots growing right down this rock. So I'm making a shot or two of that. Still using the 24 to 105, and pretty much all these shots are at 24 millimeters. I could switch to my ultra wide, but it doesn't focus stack as well. So I'm just making do with 24 millimeters. I think the 24 to 105 doesn't focus breathe, which helps focus stacking, and the 17 to 40 does focus breathe, which hurts focus stacking. So that's why I'm stuck at 24 millimeters. Maybe I do need to buy some of the RF ultra wides after all. I can't get enough of this tree. I just love this thing, and it probably wouldn't be a good thing to shoot if it weren't so foggy, because the background just kind of drifts away. Even though I'm focus stacking it, I'm looking for sharpness but depth instead of just out of focus in the background. And and the focus stacking is working. Look how unlevel my camera is right here. Back to vertical, and I'm walking around on this boulder, and let me get off the boulder so you can see it. I've kind of been all around on that boulder, which I'm still not sure if I'm showing it to you very well, trying to work on compositions of this amazing tree. And you know, I'm paying attention to the trees in the background as well, trying to make them not overlap on each other so much. So anyway, I hope you like these shots. I worked on this for quite some time. I did vertical shots and horizontal shots, and I ended up liking this shot right here the best, where I scooted the camera back a pretty good ways and shot at 33 millimeters f11, 4/10 of a second. Look at that amazing tree and its roots and all the beautiful trees in the background. And of course, you know I have to get a selfie, so I made one of those using the Vero E1 Bluetooth remote. Here is the selfie, and it's basically the exact same shot as before, and really I like it better, this version, when I am not in it, and this version I like quite a bit. I'm back on the waterfall now, kind of over here to the right, and there are branches and stuff blocking the waterfall, but I think it gives it some depth. And there's these two trees, fallen trees, actually three I guess, and I'm using that as a foreground interest. 1/5 of a second, f11 ISO 100, still focus stacking, and I think these are turning out pretty cool. I hope you're enjoying them as well. I'm not worrying too much about saving the blacks because I can pretty much always pull them. It's the highlights that if they're blown, they're gone. And so you can see right here I'm set up at 1/4 of a second, but on the right hand side of the histogram I'm touching the edge, so there's a 1/5, still touching the edge a little bit, and there's a 1/6, and that's definitely going to be okay. So I'd probably shoot this at a 1/5, make my shots, then take a look at playback, and there are some blinkies, so let's go to a 1/6, make it again, and now look at playback, no blinkies, so that's where I want to be. We'll call this waterfall composition number 4, and I lowered the camera down some from where it was in the video clips because it made the foreground interest look better, and I really like the way this one turned out. And then I got silly again and decided to make a selfie, so here's the version that is a selfie, but I really like this one as well without me in it. Waterfall composition number 4. The fog is basically gone, and so I was packing up and getting ready to go, but I didn't put my DJI Pocket 2 or this microphone. I didn't put them in my camera bag because I figured I would vlog and say goodbye on the way out. And while I was packing up, still as usual, standing a little more than ankle deep in water, somehow I dropped my mic, but it just barely hit the water, and I retrieved it. And then I continued packing up, and when I got ready to go, I couldn't find the mic. So I looked around and looked around and looked in all my pockets, never could find it, and I looked down, and there it was, completely underwater. Now, I haven't turned it off. It was on when it fell in the water. I shook the water off of it and made this clip. So if you can hear me, the DJI wireless microphone that comes with the Pocket 2 is still working. Now, how long it's going to still work, I couldn't tell you, but it's working right now. And I think I've had a really productive day today here at Middle Creek and the Rainbow Lake Dam. Just really a wonderful area, and I'm fortunate because it's not too far from my house. It's even closer to downtown Chattanooga, and I love this place. And this is the first time I've come here during foggy conditions, and it really helped. Fog and good flow is what I had today. I've come here during great color, and anyway, just a great place. So I apologize about this video being kind of long, but sometimes I get long-winded when I'm doing landscape photography. And the thing about landscape photography, there's time to talk about each shot, where when I do wildlife photography, you pretty much are, oh, here comes one, you know, and then every once in a while you stop. But landscape photography, there's time to talk about each one. So I apologize about the video being long. And if you made it this far, maybe you can comment and say, I made it. And I'll really appreciate that. So thanks for watching. It's pretty much all uphill back out of here. So I'm going to try to hike out, and give me a thumbs up, subscribe. And as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye from a beautiful area on top of Signal Mountain near Chattanooga, Tennessee.